Hello. I love your faces. Love it, love it. Good to see you guys, though. Yeah.
Feeling back here at the start of the offseason?
Feels amazing. You get to enjoy some off time in the off season, with friends, family, vacation, traveling, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a blessing to be here. I always say that. We're around so many good people, and that's why this organization has been at the top for so long, is because you get to be around people like yourselves too. Just amazing people to be around, and we're going to take it one day at a time, work hard each and every day, but it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great off-season program.
What was your reaction to the Trent McDuffie trade?
I loved it. That's a guy, we crossed over, so when he was a freshman at Mater Dei, I was a senior. We crossed over in football, we crossed over in track and field. Track and field, I got to really get to know him a lot more, but been seeing him from afar, and he's a fantastic player. You look at his body of work, was able to get 2 Super Bowls. I mean, that's just huge within itself just because of the experience, There are very few players that get to be at that level and not only go there but win it too. And to bring him into the room, fantastic person, fantastic player. Obviously, I'll get to know him more at this stage in our lives, but, very, very happy to, get to work with him again.
It means something to have 2 LA kids in secondary playing together?
Yeah, it's awesome. Keep the home talent where it's supposed to be, in LA. It's awesome. You know what you're getting. And I think with Trent, he's the true embodiment of a Ram, just a player that, is from here, knows the environment, knows everything within LA. He's going to be, obviously, like I say, he's going to be a great addition, and I can't wait to, when we get on the grass, I think that's when it'll really shine. But from my talks, it's been great.
How different does going into this off-season program feel for you, especially having that contract extension you signed in place and just having that security compared to last year?
Yeah, I think it means more to me because last year, during the season, I felt like I was playing well, but at the same time going into this offseason, I feel like there's so much more I can really show, and my body feels great. Mentally, I'm in a good space. I've been telling myself I'm at peace. And when you're at peace, nothing can beat that. And for me, there's a couple things that I want to accomplish personally too. Obviously as a team, we know what the goal is, but personally, I feel like, my dad told me it best. He said, set your dreams high, dream bigger. And I have those things written down, but there's so much more left on the table that I want to accomplish. And I feel like going on into this offseason, I've started with a good foundation. And we just talked about it in the team meeting. It's all about foundation and fundamentals. And if you can lock those down, shoot for the stars. And I feel good about where I'm headed this offseason.
What are some of those goals for yourself coming into this year?
It's no secret. I've always talked about it. Manifestation is a real thing. All Pro Bowl, be the best defender in the league. Why not? People might say you're crazy, but, if you don't have – you guys had the same dreams, whatever dreams you want to accomplish them. And for me, that's it, Why not? Why can't I? There's D-Rose talking about it. Why not me? It's the same thing for me too. Why not? I feel like I have the ability to do it, so that's what I'm going to work towards. At the end of the day, I have to put in the work because you can't just show up. You can't just be that person you want to be without putting in the work. But at the same time, it's what can I do each and every day to make sure that I'm getting to that point. And, I'm setting my dreams big. And, we'll see, at the end of the season what happens. But, starting with the foundations and fundamentals from today and then working up throughout the whole season.
It's been an eventful offseason for Puka and for the Rams.
Yeah.
As a team captain, what are you personally and maybe as a team doing to what was your reaction and are you guys doing to kind of help support him?
At the end of the day, just, being authentic and genuine to myself. No, that's my brother. Love him to death. One of the greatest human beings I've ever got to work with and be a part of. And at the end of the day, all we can do is just rally around him. That's it. As a team, we love him to death. We know who he is as a person and a football player. So just making sure we're there to support him.
Have you gotten to know Jalen Watson at all yet, or dissected any of his game?
Yeah, seen him from afar. Love his game. Love how physical he is. And I think having that physicality, especially in the back end, it's so important. It's important mentally and it's important physically. At the end of the day, if you have tough physical players in that back end, it helps that defense so much. And to bring in a guy like that who's physical, who's big, who's tough, it's huge. And, obviously I'll get to know him more as a person, but seeing his tape, it's amazing. And that's a guy that I'm very, very glad we got to bring in as an addition to our team.
On a similar note, what did it mean to have Cam Curl back?
Oh, man, that's my guy. I told him when he got his deal, I'm going to be one of the first people outside his close friends. Well, I feel like I'm a close friend to him. Outside of his family that I was going to call. I was ecstatic. I know his situation the last time he was in free agency, it was a little bit different, but for him, I know he was so happy and he wanted to be here. And, I feel like we're a two-man tandem. It's like me and him, me and Cam Kitchens. It's great to have familiar faces back in the room, and he's a fantastic player. Everybody saw that. He showed everybody who he can be. Had one hell of a season last year, and he'll be forever remembered as a Ram for what he did in Chicago. Everybody was talking about that interception against Caleb Williams for weeks and weeks and weeks. But amazing human being, amazing person, amazing player, and I'm so glad I get to see him each and every day coming into work with him.
Just trying to play all over the field. Have you had a conversation with the coaches about maybe what your game would look like or how the defense?
I haven't, and at the end of the day, wherever I can be, it's the same thing. I feel like I'm a versatile player too, so I feel like it's going to be fun. You can put us kind of wherever you want to and, do different disguises and this and that. So it'll be interesting. At the end of the day, my role, I feel like, hasn't been talked to about, so I don't think it's changed. But, is that something that needs to be? If I need to, play different spots, I feel like Alex said, I feel like I showed that last year too. Playing back, playing in the box, playing star, being able to blitz, do all that stuff. That's a part of my game, being versatile. That's one of the reasons why I was able to earn a spot is knowing all these different positions. So at the end of the day, that's who I am. That's what I know. And, yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. And it's good for the defense to be able to have players that can play different spots at a high level. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.